Mr. Butt, it's the end of an era. This is the last week that your papers will be printed on the Isle of Man.
Yes, I'm afraid so, but the company made a decision that we had to go with the move of the times and go for an all-colour printing product, and to improve the quality of the newspapers. And we looked very hard at whether we could do that with the existing press or to buy a new press, and we couldn't make the sums add up to actually continue printing the Isle of Man. So we're now going to a new £60 million press in England, where we're going to be printing all three of our titles from next week onwards.
And there are job losses over this.
We're losing 7 full-time staff who work in the press hall, and we're very sorry to see them go. Very, very talented and hard-working people. But I'm afraid the company has to think about the future and what suits it best. And advertisers and readers want a better quality product with more colour in it, and that's what we can do when we move to print in Sheffield.
But it's not that long ago. We've got these pictures now running of you celebrating going to a tabloid format for the Examiner. I mean, at that stage, did you know this was on the cards?
Nope, it was a possibility at that time, but we went tabloid for the same sorts of reasons in a way, to move forward with the times, to move with what readers and advertisers wanted, to have a more modern product, etc. And the fact that we're going to be printing in Sheffield from next month, from March, means that it's the same process really, just modernising the product.
I mean, your building's not over-utilised now. It's going to be very much less utilised from next week.
That's true. We'll have the press hall will be empty and so on, and at the moment we're looking at how the future of the building will pan out.
Do you still see yourself moving then?
It's a possibility.
Now, other newspapers manage to print locally. I mean, I'm thinking now there's a little one in the Isle of Man itself, in the south of the island, that's come on board only recently. So it can be done. Is it just a question that your parent company didn't want to invest in the island?
That's a very, very small press, Sheepfed. That's not a real newspaper press. Most newspapers in the UK are printed in big printing presses. The Liverpool Echo, for example, is printed in Oldham, which is quite a long way from Liverpool. The Scotsman, which is one of Johnson Press's titles, is printed in England now. Big newspapers with big print runs are not printed on sheepfed presses.
What happens if there's disruption? I'm thinking of when the ferries don't go, and sometimes even the planes can be in trouble.
Well, if the boats don't go, we'll fly the papers over. If the planes and boats don't go at the same time, I suppose we're in trouble, but that doesn't happen very often, does it?
Can you confirm there is a commitment from Johnson Press to serve the Isle of Man?
Absolutely. We are here. We are a good, profitable company. We're part of Johnson Press as most profitable companies, really. We are here for the long term. What we're doing is giving the Isle of Man more better products. We'll still employ 53 people here after the press is shut. All the news is gathered in the Isle of Man by reporters based in the Isle of Man. The pages are put together by sub-editors and so on in the Isle of Man. The photographers are going around the Isle of Man. 53 people is a large number of people for any company in the Isle of Man to employ. We are here for the long term.
But do you foresee that you may reduce the amount of publications you do?
Who knows? That isn't a question on the horizon at the moment. You know, the way that the industry is going is changing all the time. I can't say yes, I can't say no, but I can say there are no plans whatsoever to change any of the publications we're doing. What we're going to be doing more is concentrating more on online as well, having more on there.
I mean, this is where the money is, do you think, in the future?
Well, that's where eyes are going. That's where people seem to be going with more iPad applications, etc. That's moved on. Our mobile has moved on significantly in the last year. Our mobile site got up and running a few months ago. That seems to be a growth area in the media. Making money out of that is quite difficult, but that's one of our objectives, as well as carrying on with the 3 newspapers that we produce.